Jason Fitz with Yahoo Sports, hanging out with Bo Nix, superstar quarterback ahead of the NFL draft, joining us on behalf of USAA. We'll get to that in a minute, but Bo, I'm actually really anxious for this conversation. I was on the sidelines for your first ever game in college. I was standing there watching you with Auburn, and I think we all walked out of that stadium that day saying, oh my God, this kid is going to just light it up. It happened for you, but didn't happen until you got to Oregon. What was the big change in your life from Auburn to Oregon?
Well, I appreciate it, and thanks for having me today. Yeah, that was a special first game. Obviously a memorable one, and there was a lot of, I think, great games throughout my time at Auburn. I think a lot of people forget that. We lit it up quite a bit, but sometimes, got beat a little bit too. But I felt like the transition was very smooth. Oregon was a great place for me, not only for my playing career, but just off the field. Me and my wife, having such a great time with the community at Oregon, and it was a special place. And my college career was definitely worth the adventure.
Your college career gave you the opportunity to see a lot, obviously, play a lot of football. How do you think that sort of helps you as you get ready for the transition that's coming next week?
I think it's huge. I think that's the name of the game. Experience is, I think the best teacher. I think experience is the best thing to have in your arsenal. I think once you do it once or twice, you begin to be comfortable with it and know how it works. And that's the same way in football. Every time I've seen safety rotation, every time I've seen a blitz, every time I've seen, a route pattern, whatever it may be, it's just banked reps that I've been able to accumulate over time.
So what's the interview process been like for you as you start to talk to teams getting ready for the draft?
It's been, a lot. It's been very heavy, a lot going on. Been very busy. Excited to be, this time next week, I guess, getting ready for whatever, team that I'll be able to join. And then, excited to join them. I'm excited to be on a team again.
I always think it's interesting because I keep talking to people as we all get ready to cover the draft, and they talk about processing information. They want to know quarterbacks can process information. It feels like that's the catchphrase this year. Are you getting like a pop quiz everywhere you go? How are teams judging that from you?
Yeah, just a lot of recall, a lot of, asking certain questions, not only on your season and your plays, but they may, ask you a few of theirs and ask you to recall it and just, explain it back to them. And processing, quite frankly, can only happen on the field. So a lot of people can know it, a lot of people can understand it, and maybe recite it on the board, and sound good. But I think once you get on the field, you see a lot of that processing go to work, and that's the hard part, is when you don't know necessarily what's going to happen, and you got to react and you got to process what just happened at a very quick very quick rate. And fortunately for me, I've been able to process a lot in college, and I think it's going to help me.
It's funny. You mentioned sort of the unknowns and all the things you're going through. And you also mentioned the fact that you have a wife, right? Like, one thing I think is amazing about the draft process is that you have no idea, no choice in where you're going to live, what it's going to look like. You may not even know where the city is on a map, right? And then you've got happy wife, happy life. Like, for you guys, as you get ready for this process, how strange is it to just not even know, essentially in a week and a half, where you're going to call home?
It's very weird because right now we don't have a home. We don't have a place that we can call ours. And like you said, a happy wife, a happy life. So I got to make sure whatever city we're in, I get her situated, make sure she's comfortable and ready to roll. Because I'm only as good as she is, and she makes me better. So we're going to be able to work off of each other and definitely transition. And thank goodness we have one another, so it's not going to be just lonely. But we had that experience with Eugene. It was a new place for both of us, and we showed up, and we had a great time. So I'm looking forward to wherever it is.
New place is one of the big conversations in college football right now, right? Everybody has something to say about NIL. Everybody has something to say about the transfer portal. And I hear a lot of people yelling about how these things are killing college football. But let's be honest, it gave you a real opportunity to change your life, right? So what would you say right now to naysayers that say the transfer portal essentially is bad for the game?
Well, like you said, it worked out for me. I was able to graduate and then transfer. So, thank goodness for myself. I would have been able to do it before the transfer portal because
It's
I
fair.
was a
That is
graduate
fair.
transfer. But, I think one thing I tell many people is yes, it worked out for me. It works out for a lot of guys. And there was, great success rate for, guys that were in my position this year that were transfers. But sometimes the grass isn't always greener. So if you do transfer and if you do make that decision, just trust that maybe, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work, but regardless, just it's a fit for each individual. It's a situation-based decision. It's definitely up to that person, and there's a lot of thought that goes into it.
So what's your draft night going to look like? Who are you going to be around? How's it all going to play out?
Yeah, I'm excited to be around family, some people that are going to be close, that have been close with me, that have been in my circle for a while, have helped me get to where I am today, have helped me get to draft night. They're going to be around, and I think it's important to just enjoy the experience, and I want those people around me because they've done so much for me and in my playing career.
And I mean, you're going to tell me you don't care where you go. I always preface this question because I know that's what you're going to tell me. You're a quarterback, you're smart, but come on, man. Like it's just two friends talking. Like, is there a dream spot you want to end up? Like someplace you want to play?
Yeah, I want to play somewhere that's going to win a Super Bowl. So that's all my criteria there. I believe that with the right opportunity, right situation, anything can happen. So wherever it is, I'm not picky. I've never really been picky. I've lived in a lot of different places. Wherever it is, I'm just going to compete for a Super Bowl.
All right. So tell everybody the great work you're doing with USAA, Bo.
So USAA has been very good to me, been good to us lately. I was able to go with Joe Alt to the Selfridge Air National Guard base, and we were able to go up in a Black Hawk. We were able to do a lot of cool things, at that base, and we were able to meet a lot of individuals who sacrifice on a daily basis for me and everyone in this country. So it takes perspective. It takes you out of your football perspective, puts it a little bit more back to life, and you see how important other people are, and the ability for me to go out there and play. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without those individuals who serve, and I know they mean a lot for our country.